Where there is definitely more to do is the gender pay gap, which I'm sure, again, will not be of as much of a surprise. And according to the results of the survey, the industry is a 70% to 30% female to male ratio, so it's almost 3/4 female, but 46% of men are earning over 65 grand a year, compared to 19% of women. 28% of women earn less than 40k a year, compared to 18% of men. Now, why is that? That seems like something we should be able to fix rather quickly, surely.
Should be no reason why.
Well, there's two, because of, you know, I interview people, and there's two main reasons for that I can see with my taken away from the results in the panel here. One is that when I talk to people about salary bandings, mainly when women talk about salary bandings, it's something that's a bit dirty and they don't really want to say anything. But secondly, it's about how they are then deemed. You've all heard this phrase, oh, she's an alpha female, or she's a ball breaker and stuff like that. That's just so disrespectful. If a guy wanted more pay, if a guy asked for more money, he'd be a go-getter and things like that. So as an employer, we have to understand that. But it's also, you know, I was an enabler probably up until about 2 years ago, because I'm in a routine. I had a client that had a role at 100 to 120,000, and I had a woman apply that was on 80 already, and a guy apply that was on 150. And the woman said to me, oh, I'm looking at the bottom of that salary bracket. And the guy said to me, I'll come down to the top end. And I said, my wife used to be in HR, so there's me thinking, great, I've got her another 20 grand pay rise. And my wife was the one that said to me, but are they both the same? Can they both do exactly the same job? And you sat there thinking, oh shit, I am actually helping the gender pay gap there. And then, of course, speaking to women in the industry, it is something that's quite like, we don't really want to...
See, I agree and I disagree. Yeah. So identity, we're pretty much 45% male, 55% female. Everything is on salary bands, so and we are quite clear in terms of there's a salary for a role, and there'll be a degree of experience that you have. And we've got the most kick-ass female producers out there, you know, whether that's digital content, live events, they are incredible. And they really rule the roost, you know. I don't want to say that we are female dominant. We've got Janet Dodge, you know, absolute legend sitting on the board, you know, of the industry. Within the exec team at the moment, we are 50-50 female and male, you know. So I like to think that this is an area where the female element adds the probably more intuitive aspects, the more emotional intelligence, and then it's balanced with sort of a slightly a more male point of view. So I think we've got the balance right. We've still got more to do, but when I look at a gender pay gap, it doesn't really exist at identity. No. It might exist because women have got into work later in terms of career progression, because of children, for example, because that's just the lifelong situation of the gender pay gap. However, when I look at the people with an identity and the salary bands, it's pretty...
Yeah, the thing there though, and it's absolutely great to hear, is you said the word framework and you said the word bandings. Yeah. Because if you've got a framework, if you've got bandings, it's very clear and open, whereas if your salary is left down to negotiations, it's anecdotal. I'd like another £10,000. Why? I don't know, but he's on 10 grand, you know. I think when you've got that framework, and that's something we'll talk about later with the IEM, you know, having that sort of salary survey saying, actually, X amount of event managers are on this, and I'm not, all right, I'm not saying go and use the survey and go, you know, it says this, but if you've got a framework in place, if you've got something set up, that is awesome. That's incredible, because that will help. But if you're, like I say, if your salary negotiations are down to who can sell the best or who's best, unfortunately, who's got a better relationship with the line manager, that's where the old boys club comes in.
Yeah. I mean, we're our gender, well, we haven't got a gender pay gap. I think it flips between 2% either way when we look at the average over the company. But our SLT are about 50-50. It varies.